Hi, I'm Bet from Bet's Makes, and today we're going to go all about stickers and stickers made easy. On the screen here, you are going to see some of the stickers I created on the fly. There's actually quite a few of them here, and we're going to learn how to make each and every one of these. So I'm just going to group everything that I have here and click on group, and then I'm just going to hide that group so that we're working with a blank canvas. Now we are making stickers really easily. I'm going to use planner stickers as our starting point because planner stickers are easy to put together, but you can use the same process no matter what sticker you're going to use. So let me turn the grid back on. That's this little area right here. It's turning on the grid. Have a nice grid to work with. What we're going to do is we're going to start by using some of the shapes that we have right here inside Cricut Design Space. So I am going to use a rounded edge one, which looks like this one right here. That's not too bad. But I'm going to start with the square with a rounded edge. I'm just going to bring it into the front here. I'm going to change the color, because I find working with the black is just a little hard on the eyes at times. Perfect. So we get a nice rounded edge. Now we could use this sticker. It's a 2" by 2". We'll just use it very simply here. The problem is it's all one color, and you probably want some white on the inside to make it easier to work with. So I have a little trick for you in order to do that. So just click on your square here. We're going to come up to offset, and I've got it set to negative, and I'm just going to change this to negative 0.25, and then I'm going to apply it. Now you'll notice how it comes in black. I'm going to change that color to white, and now I have a sticker that I can use, but in order to have it print out in the way I want it, I am going to flatten it. So I'm just going to click on flatten. Now I have a 2" by 2" that I can use, but now an easy way to make this sticker really work for you is I'm going to duplicate it and say I want a matching sticker, but I wanted a different size. What I can do now is just click on the lock where it says width 2 inches. Let's make it a 4" width, but keep it the same. You'll notice that we do get a widening of the sides. So it's not always the best way to do it, but it does work. And I'm just going to lock it. Now we have another sticker, but we have a wide side with it. So if I want to fix that so I have a narrower side, I have a little trick here. We're going to click on offset. And let me just move this out of the way first so we can see what we're working on. Click on offset. Now we have a negative set on the offset. I just can't see it here. See, weld offsets, okay. We went down this way. As you can see, this is not going to work 100%. As we have an offset going in this direction, there we go. We finally got the offset showing up on both pieces. It's a little thin. So now I'm going to just move it down just a little bit. That looks pretty good. Now that black is going to come in again, and we are going to change it to white. But you know, some other issues we have a little extra piece in the center. Now I want the 2 white pieces, but I don't necessarily want the extra of the other color. So now if I bring this in, as you can see, I'm just getting 2 white edges that are going around because what it did is it offset against. Now this gives a nice little design of something you can work with if that's what you want. I'll just highlight them, and I'm going to attach those so they all stay as one. And I don't think I can I can flatten that. So now I have a different kind of sticker. Now, if I wanted to make a sticker very similar to this with the width, but I didn't want these extra pieces in there because you're going to experiment quite a bit and find things don't always work the way you want them to. Now, this is a flattened image. So what I am going to do is I'm going to bring in another rounded one. Just bring it over here. I am going to change the color. Let's make it a green instead so we can keep it different. I'm going to unlock it. And then I'm going to come up to the sides. I'm going to change that width to 4 like we had before. I'm going to lock it back in place. And this is probably the best thing to do for this. So I'm going to click on offset. And I'm going to go this negative 0.25. And that one looks pretty good. We're going to apply it. It's going to be black. I'm going to change the black to white. And now I have another sticker, and I am going to flatten that. Just remember, when you resize these, you'll come across issues like this, so they're not always going to work the way you want. Now let's try it with a different shape, and we'll add some embellishments to it, so it's going to be a really cool looking sticker. Let's start with a circle. So I'm just going to be using the free, not included with a subscription right now, so that we can all play with this quite a bit. Now I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so we can see what we're working on. Okay, we have a nice circle here. Let's make it a yellow circle just so it's easier to see. Once again, I am going to hit my offset, and it is going to be negative and negative 1.25. I'm going to try 0.25. Let's tab it and just see what we get. Okay, I may make that a little bit bigger. 2, 5, 6, somewhere around there. Okay, let's change this 6, 4 to a 5. And we're just going to leave it. I don't think the square is going to make any difference. No, it won't. I'm going to click the circle. I'm going to click apply. This time I'm going to do something a little different, even though I will make this white for the time being. I'm just going to use it for later. I'm going to highlight both of these, and I'm going to slice them because we're going for a different kind of circle right now. I'm just going to move these out of the way. I am going to use this one again shortly. I just want the rim here. All right, now with the rim, I want to add a little bit of a decoration to it and just have something off the side that would look really cool. So let's just go pick a heart for now. I'm just going to bring it down. And of course, I want the heart to be red. Remember, we're going to flatten everything here. So now we have a nice little heart. We can add a couple more here. So let's just duplicate this and just shrink it a little bit. So we can add a couple of hearts here. And maybe one more just below. I'm just going to put those into place like this. So we're going to have a ring with some hearts, and then we can have the white part in behind. First thing I want to do is just group these together so nothing happens. Don't want them to move. That's great. I'm going to put the white piece back in, and you can see I just want these to go together. Let's see if we can align these horizontally. No, that's not going to work. And vertically, and that's not going to work. And the reason it doesn't is because I added the hearts. Okay, so let's just ungroup this for now. Oh, gee. Okay, let's ungroup it. I'm just going to select those two pieces. That's not including the hearts, horizontal, and of course, vertical. Everything is together. Now I'm going to highlight all of it together, and I am going to flatten it. Now that's become a nice little item that you can use as a sticker by itself. When it cuts, we don't have the outside edge to make it a little extra. So what I want to do now is add my offset, but this time I am going to go to the outside just so I get a little bit of a border. And I've got 0.111, which is okay. I'm going to take that, and you'll see that I've got a little border around it. It just gives a little extra edge. And I'm going to make that white because white does not print. And then I'll take all of this together and flatten it. So now I have another size sticker and another one with some really cool ways of doing that. I'm going to be just shrinking it down a bit, and you'll notice the shrink works quite well when you have a circle. Now, some people, when they're doing planner stickers, they don't need this circle anymore, just delete it. You want some arrows or you want something different. So let's take a look and see what we can do to make an arrow. Now you can see we could use arrows from down here, but we're going to try and stay within the free part here. So we are going to create our own arrows. So we're going to need two shapes here. One of them is going to be this particular one, and we're going to give it a rotate of 90 degrees. So that's pointing in a direction. Now let's change it around. Let's make it minus 90. And then I've got it pointing in a good direction. Now the other one I want to have as a shape here is I want a plain square. Now you'll notice for the width, or the height here, it's 2.5, but this is 2. So I'm going to unlock it and change the height to say 1.5. I did not. Okay, so height 1.666. Okay, let's make it 1.5 just to make it the same as when I made the square. I should be able to join those two pieces together without a problem. Now, in order to make sure that they join the way you want them, I'm just going to give you a little trick here. I'll just move these out of the way. I'm going to take this guy and move it to X of 1 and Y of 1. So we know where it goes. We know it's 2 inches. So I know that this will be at the 3-inch position. And how I know that is because this is at 1, this is too wide. I can see it at 3. And of course it's at 1 down, and those two should match perfectly. Now that's a shorter arrow, and we can do something a little more with it here because we could take this particular item and expand it if we want, make it wider. Right now, I'm just going to keep it locked together because I want to weld this. That gives me a nice little arrow, and if I wanted to make it a little bit bigger, I could, but let's just leave it as is because I want to show you how to get the inside, make a different color. All right, let's select this. It is black, so we're going to make our arrow blue. I'm going to hit that offset again, and you'll notice that it comes to the outside. If I wanted one color, that is absolutely perfect. If I want something on the inside, and you can barely see it here, so I can do some writing on the inside, which is preferable. I will just slide this up a little bit. Let's make it -125. That looks pretty good. I am going to apply it. And the next thing I need to do is change that to white. And now I have a lovely little arrow, and I'm just going to flatten it here. A lovely little arrow that I can use as part of my planner pages. Now, some of these look pretty boring to you, but you can add some really interesting things to these. Let's just take this one and let's just duplicate it. I'll show you another thing that you can do with these stickers. Remember, this could be an image inside as well. We're going to add a little text, and I'm just going to call this to do, and I'm not too sure about this font. So I will just take a look at different fonts. We've got a filter on here. I'm going to turn off the writing one, and I'm just going to pick out a nice little font here. Let's make it pretty plain. And I think Agency FB single layer cutting. That looks pretty good. It's pretty big. I'll just move that together like that. And since this is a print and cut, it's not going to make any difference at all if you change that to a pen, because we want to align this just like that. So that looks really good. And I'm just going to grab them together. I'm going to unflatten, and then I'm going to grab them together again and reflatten. And now I have a nice little to-do tag that we can use. So you can add little bits of text, you can add different shapes, you can add a little bit around the outside to ensure you get a good cut. So for this one, let's add that little bit of outside, and I'm just going to move it down in here, 0.125. Looks good. Let's apply it. Let's change it to white. So it sits around the outside now. Grab everything together, and I'm going to flatten it again, and now I have another type of sticker. So these were really easy to put together. Now you're wondering, what's going to happen when I go to do the print and cut? Well, I'm going to show you a little trick here on the print and cut. I'm going to start with the shape. I'm going to hit a square. I'm going to unlock it. Now we know the width in size, the maximum you can have is 6.75, I believe, and 9.25. Just going to lock that into place, and I'm going to change the color. I'll just make it a light yellow for now, and that's just so we can see it. I'm going to add some of our stickers here. I guess I better take this, arrange it, and send it to the back. That's a pretty big sticker. That's okay. We're just going to fill these up. To-do lists, and you can make them a lot smaller than what they are here. Add our little circle here. Will it fit? It'll be close. Let me just make it a little bit smaller. And maybe I'll duplicate it and just add it. What I'm doing is I'm making a little sticker pack in the back here. Add this one here, and maybe I can add one more of these. That looks really good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, with this back item, what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it, I'm going to arrange it, and I'm going to send it to the back. And then I'm going to align those two together. Now they're set as a cut, and so it's not going to be a problem. So what I want to do now is select our yellow pieces here, this one. You can see one down here. Where's the other one? It's down here as well. I'm going to hold on to both of those, and I'm going to change their color to white. That means that they won't print, but they'll stay together. But I am going to make sure that I do attach them. And then I'm going to arrange them and send them to the back. I'm going to take all of this together. I am going to attach it. Now, it's telling us that we have an error here. So let's take a look and see what that error could be. Image too large, 6.75 by 9.25. Now let's see that when we did some changes, you'll notice that our width has changed here. So let's change this to 6.75 and this one to 9.25. Okay. Should be okay. And it's still telling us, okay, so let's unlock it here. 6.75, 9.25, everything should be okay. It looks like it is. I'm going to lock it. Now, that seems like an awful lot when you go to print it, because those are pretty big. You'll notice 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe it's too big for what we want. However, we probably want a few sets of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this whole thing, just like this. I'm going to pick that attach, and I am going to duplicate it. And I'm not too sure if I'll be able to get one more, but we're going to make a group of 4 here. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm just going to move those down. And we are going to just get them as close as possible. I could push these out to 1. I'm just going to be a little, it doesn't matter where those cut lines are on the side. It's going to make 4 pieces here. I'm going to grab all of these together. And I am going to change the width here to 6.75. And we'll notice that we got the 9.25. So all together like this, I am going to attach them, and you'll see that it gives me the opportunity to print out 4 sheets. Now, what's going to happen here is we have a double cut around the outside, and then we have single cuts or a kiss cut on the inside. So I am making 4 little packs of these stickers, and these would be great if you wanted to sell stickers. All right, let's save this. I've already called it Simple Stickers. I'm just going to save it. Looks great. Okay, and let's go over to Make It. They're saying it's a big project, but it's all shapes. So it'll just take a second or two. It'll come up and it will sort our project into mats by color. Now, a couple of things here, you'll see it all goes into the one mat. Really happy with that. And let's go to continue. Now I'm going to send this to the printer. I just click on my send to printer button. I have a couple of printers. I have an HP and I have my Epson. I want to use the system dialog box here. I'm going to click on print and it's going to bring up my dialog box, and that's where I can make some choices. And in my dialog box, I am able to pick my printer, which doesn't always pick the one that you have. I'm going to click on preferences, and I need a rear feed, and my paper style doesn't really make any difference. It just tells me which way I'm going to go. And everything looks good as long as I have the rear feed. I'm going to click on OK, and then I am going to click on print. And as it's printing, you'll notice that our 4 pieces started to fill up the whole device. Now, my printer is just going to print. I'm going to come over here and I am going to select my device, which is my Maker 3. It's the one I have online right now. And it'll just take a second or two. And then it's going to ask me about setting my base material. I only have one favorite in here. So let's click on Browse All. And I'm going to pick on sticker. And see what it has for sticker paper. I happen to have smart sticker paper, but I'm not going to use it. If I had sticker paper removable, I could use this as a lighter one. There's also Cricut sticker paper and printable sticker paper, or you can use some of the vinyl settings. I'm going to use a printable, removable sticker paper here. I'm going to click on Done. It asks me for my fine point blade, and that's all there is to it. Okay. So now that I've got everything printed out, you'll see that I have it all on one sheet. Those are still pretty big, but I'm going to cut these out and I should get 4 pieces out of it. I'm just using a standard grit mat right here. Just pull this off. And what I'm going to do is just add them to the top corner here. Get as accurate as possible. Line that up. I am going to use a brayer tool. And the reason I use the brayer tool is because I want to make sure my material is stuck right to the mat and then I don't have rip and tear issues. So just want to make sure everything is in place. All right, all I have to do now is load my mat. Now I'm using a sticker paper that I picked up at Staples. It's just a 1-piece shipping label and it will work really well. I'm not using my Cricut sticker paper for this because these are light ones that I want to pull on and off and not worry about it too much at that point. So now it's just going to cut exactly what I want, and it'll just take a few minutes and then we'll come right back to it. All right, let's unload the mat and let's see what we have here. I'll just move my Cricut out of the way here so that we have some room to work. And you'll notice that I've got a couple little pieces here where you can see it goes around a couple of times. So I'm just going to pull the outer frame away, because we don't need that anymore. Oh. Let's just grab the last piece here as well. Just takes a little bit sometimes to get all the pieces off the mat. Go, because we're going to have some sticker packs. Now this could be, oops, the reason that I have some of the extra pieces and the extra edges here is because sometimes you just have to work at it. I had it do a double cut because quite often it won't come off otherwise. Now this is still stuck on top of the mat. Let me just get rid of my extra pieces of paper here. So the key behind this is that we do have some extra sheets here that are going to come through. Now I'm just going to have, because I want the backing to come off with it. There we go. You'll notice that mine have cut right through, but generally what will happen is you'll have 4 now sticker sheets that you can put together. Now I've used a thinner paper, so it doesn't work as well. If you use the Cricut sticker paper, it'll work much better. But anyways, that's a simple way to have stickers made easy. So until next time, happy crafting.